Hey, how's it going everybody? I'm your host for today's video, Noob's Gameplay, formerly known as the Anime Guy. Today I'm going to be discussing about who is the smartest kid in the Promised Neverland series. Now for those of you who don't know anything about the Promised Neverland, let me tell you, it is an anime. The plot is fairly simple. A bunch of kids live in an orphanage happily, but one day, two of the most smartest kids uncover the darkest secret of the orphanage, which is they were just foods for the demons and they try to escape. That's all there is to it, to the plot. It's a good anime. Do check it out. So today we're gonna be talking about three kids in particular: Norman, Emma, and Ray. I wanted to include Phil too, but he's just too young and also doesn't have a lot of feats, so I guess that does it for Phil. And if I had to weed someone out of the main trio, it would be Emma. Now let's get real here. Emma is really smart, no denying that. But when compared to, say, Norman or Ray individually, she really falls short in contributing. I mean, she does the execution part really well. She nails the execution, but when it comes to, finding out directions in which direction to head to, she's not that good. Not that good as like Norman or Ray. Now before I say anything any further, I just want you to know that this was extremely hard for me to do, especially when I tried to separate both Ray and Norman, and it did not go well for me. Oh god, no, that was a nightmare thinking about every single possibility. Now, please don't make me go into the nitty-gritty details, because if I try to do that, it will become more of a podcast rather than a video. Yeah, you get the idea. That's how vast of a topic this is. For beginners, Ray led Norman and Emma to discover the actual purpose of the orphanage. Ideally, Ray was able to spill the beans without even talking, and he would have said more on the same night if it wasn't for a certain someone's mistake, and also start making an escape plan with them right from the get-go. However, he would have hid the fact that he was a double agent. He would do that because if he tries to feed wrong information to Isabella right after she found out that something was wrong with the kids, it would have been a disaster if she found out that Ray is trying to betray her. And considering that one is a really major blow, she would obviously know that the one who had to go to the gate at the night was Emma, because she cares about everyone more than anybody else. It's really not that hard to figure out. And of course, Isabella had no choice but keep suspecting Ray. So considering all of these possibilities, which were handled by Ray alone with absolute finesse, I got nothing more to say. Ray is really smart. That was just the first point, and that was just the first episode. I'm basing Ray's initial intelligence from the first episode, and it was not from the entire episode 2, right? So of course that's how good he is. Now of course Norman showed great observational skills and deductive skills, and he was also able to strategically deal with multiple dynamic situations, not at once, but he really did great, and he is really smart. Alright, now the most common point that people like to address in this kind of argument is that Norman figured out that Ray was a spy. I agree, but Ray was planning this from the start, and so it was only a matter of time before he exposed himself. And even if that is not the case, then hear this: Ray's revelation as a spy actually helped him, and he also tops that by revealing that he is a double agent. Ray, yes, he is not left with any other choices but to accept Norman's demand to get him to work with the rest of the crew or in full force to make an escape plan. And even in that condition, Norman, who knew that Ray is a double agent, keeps Ray in his leash and also uses him at the same time. It's really great how he used Ray's mind. I mean, there are just a lot of variations, possibilities, divergences that you can do, and it is really hard to keep track of everything. So which is why I'm narrowing it down to the most basic of the conclusions that can be drawn. So you might ask, how does Ray get the advantage over this? Now listen, Ray now doesn't have to deal with diverging two parties at once, meaning that he wouldn't have to diverge the other kids, and he wouldn't have to diverge Isabella and the other demons. And also he was working on an escape plan all this time, which also was revealed in the final episode. So he was working in 3 parallels, and he just cut up parallels, a double agent parallel and he cut that off, and now he either has to take the kid's side while working on his plan separately, and he can just tell the plan and go to Isabella, and of course that won't be the case. So think about it, he doesn't have to diverge two different parties now, and he can work with them at the same time, keep Isabella in the dark, feeding her only little bit of information that she needs to know so that she doesn't get suspicious of Ray. And if you think that it could have been done while being a double agent, then you are so mistaken. I think you can clearly see the pattern now. Ray uses Norman and Norman uses Ray, which is why I said at the beginning it is really difficult to analyze them separately. Now moving on to Sister Krona's whole situation and thing. This is where Norman actually makes a lot of mistakes, and a really crucial one too. I hope you remember how Norman was interrogated by Sister Krona. If you do, then it's good, and if you don't, then just hear this. Norman and Emma allowed Krona to know that they have found out the position where the tracers were placed on them, and they also had found how to deactivate them. Both of them let a crucial information like this get in the hands of Sister Krona, and of course she would use that to her advantage. But what Norman and Ray did, holy shit, that was even more thrilling and challenging to do. Ray literally had passed down the information to Isabella, and Isabella was like, I had to get rid of her. And that's what she did, and they cut out the third wheel in the equation, but that part was really insane. I've gotta say that. Yes, Norman made a mistake which could have been really crucial, but it didn't end up so.